What if the greatest message ever received from beyond our world arrived decades ago, and we let it slip through our fingers? On a quiet night in 1977, a radio telescope in Ohio captured something impossible, a signal so strange, so precise, that the astronomer who found it could only write one word beside it: wow. Since that night, no scientist has been able to fully explain it away. No natural phenomenon fits perfectly. No human technology accounts for it. And it has never happened again. Somewhere between fact and myth lives a 72-second mystery that might be the closest we've ever come to answering a question that haunts us all: are we truly alone? August 15th, 1977. In a grassy field outside Delaware, Ohio, a massive radio telescope known as Big Ear silently scanned the heavens. It had no camera, no screen, only rows of receivers listening for whispers from deep space. This was the era of the search for extraterrestrial intelligence. SETI, when scientists believed that if another civilization existed out there, it might be speaking not with light, but with radio waves, drifting silently across the galaxy, waiting for someone, and why, where, to listen. The idea was simple, almost poetic. If intelligent life existed among the stars, it might send signals using frequencies that any advanced civilization would recognize. Big Ear scanned thousands of these frequencies every day, printing the results onto endless spools of paper covered in numbers and letters. Most nights, the printouts held nothing but static background noise, the ordinary hum of the universe. But on this particular night, for exactly 72 seconds, the universe seemed to answer back. The signal arrived on a frequency close to 1420 megahertz, an eerie coincidence because that exact frequency is emitted naturally by hydrogen, the most abundant element in the universe. Scientists had long theorized that any civilization attempting interstellar communication would choose this exact wavelength, calling it the cosmic watering hole, a universal channel where any two intelligent species, no matter how alien, might think to meet. Days later, astronomer Jerry Eman sat reviewing the mountain of printouts from that night. Then his eyes stopped. There, buried among ordinary noise, was a sequence unlike anything he'd seen before: 6EQUJ5. It represented a signal that surged in intensity, peaked dramatically, then faded, exactly the shape you'd expect from a real signal in deep space, sweeping through a telescope's narrow field of view. Stunned, Eman grabbed a red pen and circled it. Beside it, he scrawled a single word that would echo through history: wow. This wasn't ordinary interference. The signal was narrowband, an unnatural signature. Natural cosmic sources like pulsars or stars emit energy across a broad range of frequencies. But this signal was tightly focused, like a laser beam of radio energy pointed with purpose. It was 30 times stronger than the background noise of the galaxy. For those 72 seconds, something out there, or something impossibly rare in nature, had outshined the entire universe on that one frequency. Astronomers immediately turned their instruments back toward the same coordinates, hoping to catch it again. They aimed telescopes at that same patch of sky for weeks, then months, then years. Nothing, not a flicker, not an echo. The most powerful, focused radio signal SETD had ever detected in the history of the search vanished, as if it had only ever been meant to be heard once. Skeptics needed an explanation, and in 2016, one seemed to arrive. A researcher proposed that two passing comets, unnoticed at the time, might have released hydrogen gas as they moved through the solar system, mimicking the signal's frequency. For a moment, mystery solved. Case closed. Humanity could sleep soundly again. But the theory collapsed under scrutiny. Astronomers checked the historical positions of those comets for that exact date in 1977, and neither one was anywhere near the telescope's field of view. Other researchers pointed out that comets don't produce signals nearly powerful or narrow enough to match what Big Ear recorded. The comet explanation, so tidy and comforting, quietly fell apart. The mystery reopened. Other theories followed: military satellites, secret radar tests, human-made interference bouncing off space debris. Each was investigated. Each was ruled out. The signal's frequency was protected, reserved internationally, forbidden for terrestrial broadcast precisely because it was considered sacred ground for the search for alien contact. Whatever caused the wow signal, it wasn't us. The signal seemed to come from the direction of the constellation Sagittarius, toward the dense, glittering core of the Milky Way, where hundreds of millions of stars are packed closer together than almost anywhere else in the galaxy. If an alien civilization ever wanted to send a message with the best odds of being heard by someone, somewhere, that direction would be an extraordinary place to start. So why did it never happen again? Some believe the source may have been a rotating beacon, like a cosmic lighthouse, sweeping its beam across the galaxy in a slow, deliberate arc, only catching Earth once in its rotation. Others believe it may have been a one-time transmission, a burst never meant to repeat, aimed and fired only once toward a stretch of sky that happened to include us. Consider the scale of what that would mean. SETI has been listening to the skies for over 60 years, scanning billions of data points across countless frequencies. In all that time, across all that searching, only one signal has ever matched the profile of what an alien transmission might look like. Not two signals, not a pattern, just one solitary anomaly and total silence ever since. If the wow signal truly came from an intelligent source, the implications are staggering. It would require a transmitter of almost unimaginable power, aimed with pinpoint precision, broadcasting on the one frequency mathematically chosen because any species that understood physics would recognize it. It wouldn't be a random anomaly. It would be a deliberate act of reaching out across the stars. And yet, nothing followed. No second message, no confirmation, no contact. This silence echoes a deeper, more unsettling question known as the Fermi paradox. If the universe is so vast, so ancient, so filled with potential for life, why does it seem so empty? Perhaps civilizations rise, transmit briefly, and then vanish destroyed, evolved beyond communication, or simply gone silent by choice. Maybe the wow signal wasn't meant for us specifically. Maybe it was a beacon, methodically sweeping across thousands of star systems in sequence, testing for life, one frequency at a time. Earth might have simply been a single flicker in its path, one brief moment where we happened to be listening at the exact instant it passed by. It's worth asking why this signal captivates us so deeply decades later. Perhaps it's because it represents our greatest hope disguised as data. A single anomaly proving that maybe, just maybe, we are not shouting into an empty void. Scientists remain cautious, insisting on evidence, repeatability, proof. But something in us wants desperately to believe that once, just once, someone answered. Consider this unsettling possibility. What if it wasn't the only signal? What if throughout history, brief transmissions like this one have crossed paths with Earth again and again during decades when no telescope happened to be listening, on frequencies no one thought to check, at moments no scientist was watching the sky? How many wow moments might we have already missed? In the decades since 1977, technology has advanced far beyond what Big Ear could ever offer. Modern SETI projects now scan billions of frequencies simultaneously, using artificial intelligence to search for patterns invisible to the human eye. And yet, the wow signal remains unmatched, the loudest, cleanest, most tantalizing candidate for contact that has ever crossed our instruments. Maybe one day, another signal will arrive, stronger, clearer, undeniable. Or maybe the wow signal will remain exactly what it has always been, humanity's closest brush with the impossible, a fingerprint on the edge of proof, forever unconfirmed, forever unrepeated, a cosmic knock on the door that we opened seconds too late to see who was standing there. So the next time you look up at the night sky, remember this: somewhere in that darkness, 72 seconds of unexplained energy once reached our planet, and we still don't know what it was. Perhaps it was noise. Perhaps it was chance. Or perhaps, once, only once, the universe truly did say hello, and we simply weren't ready to answer back.